Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my shop. Welcome to my channel. My name's Keith and I'm your host. Come on in. Let's see what our next video is all about. Choo Choo Charlie says. Alright, got your candy? Alright, let's start this movie. Alright, this shaft is all prepped and ready to go, so we're going to just rotate it, and we're going to preheat this, and then we're going to stick weld it, and we're just going to stagger from side to side to side to side until we make a wrap all the way around it. We'll take a look at the buildup. Sometimes we might decide to patch some areas. We might put a second coat on there. This is a lot of diameter here, but we get pretty good rhythm and we get used to stacking them up here, and sometimes we can get enough build to do this in one pass. All right, here we go. Now the preheat, when you're doing this process, and of course this is a proven process by the manufacturer, also by naval standards in the shipyards. Since the back of the 80s, I've been doing this procedure, and this is also now even more important because the pricing of marine shafting has just gone out of sight, and the cost of rebuilding the surface and reclaiming the diameter is cost effective now because of the price of the material itself. Now I can't do a build-up and turning on every shaft or every material because it all varies every time you change the alloy. I have a procedure that has been proven and is also documented by manufacturer and by Navy to do this process. I do not have a procedure to weld build and turn a bearing diameter on a car axle or something of that effect. If you have an issue where you need to have a weld build and a turn, and you provide me with the manufacturer's procedure, I will take care of it for you. The main purpose for preheating this is so there's a uniform amount of temperature that's not stone cold. And the shock of initiating a weld bead on the material is not a drastic change as if it was stone cold and then welding right on it. It helps keep the shaft from warping and moving around, and of course I got a little too close there. Hey. Well, this temperature we're bringing this up to is about 500 degrees. I've gotten used to it over the years, and I get a certain glow of color in here, and I know it's hot enough, so I don't need to sit there and touch it with my temp stick. But in the former videos, back in 2011, 2012, I did a video showing this process completely from start to finish, and you can catch up on that. I'm only going to run the camera for a little bit on this because it's going to take quite a while, and I just need to have the freedom to get it done. Okay, I like that color or glow that I have right there. I'm going to call that preheat. I'm going to make sure the welder's on and put my torch away and shut off the bottles. Okay, in neutral, no feed, and we're going to go ahead and shut off our power, and our ground is right here, and we connect our ground right to the jaw of the machine, and we tuck it in. We like to run our wraps of lead on the back side of the chuck here because it gives us our freedom to roll it from side to side. Now we have this marked exactly straight across from each other, and we do that with a little center punch, and we put it along there so that we can go. Laying down the first bead is like putting the footing down for a house. It's got to be straight, and then from there it takes off in the right direction. After a while, you get in a position here, and it helps to have a seat here just to be steady. All right, and we're ready to start. Now you see that length of that rod, and sometimes I'll run through, sometimes I might just stick in a new one. The chances of having an inclusion is you want to eliminate all of that. So if you're sketchy or etchy about starting and stopping, I use a full rod for each length, depending on how long our weld is. But right now I'm going to burn them as I see. It's like doing a really wide vertical weld, okay? And I just lay one bead on top of the next. And I keep it staggering. I never do two or whatever. I keep it exactly equal, as best as you can recollect, without getting any interruptions. Okay, we're almost all the way around. It looks like we got about maybe 4 or 5 beads on each level here. Okay, adjusting my microphone here. Lately, I've been having a crackle in my microphone, and I just ordered 2 new mics for my system. I thought I had one in the shelter, but I couldn't find it. So I just got online and ordered some more. They're on high-speed travel here, so we should have them in a day or so. Okay, I think we made it all the way around. Let's disconnect our ground. I'm going to go get my chipping hammer just to push the rest of that off of there. That's a pretty uniform pass right there. Now I'm taking my straight edge right there, and we can see how much is sticking out above the shaft out here, but also too a couple areas in the middle we can see that it's also less than almost as equal as this. So we may put another pass on here. It's definitely gonna need it. All right, so I'm gonna get a wire wheel and stuff because I like to go over a wire wheel, knock off some of my dingleberries on there, and we'll get a fresh start. We got that somewhat cleaned up there, and there we go. All right, we just took and drew two soapstone lines right there, and we should be able to follow those leading off. And we got another can of rod here. Not that that was a whole can of rod. That was a partial can that I had because I finished welding up another project in the other room in there. All right, here we go. Second layer, same as the first. Now this one here, we don't have to quite be right to the edge of the shaft because we already know that this has got a hump here and a hump here. So we're going to work those 2 points there as far as stopping and starting just about a 3/8 of an inch before the beginning and end. All right. Whew. Okay, let's take off the clamp here. Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and put a bit in here. We're going to get all the slag and everything else off of here. We're going to clean it up. We're going to get the tool bit set up here. We're going to take a couple passes in here and we're going to see how it looks. Put some diameter on it and compare that diameter to what we need to go and get a good look at the shaft rolling. Let's get it rolling. You know, that shaft is running pretty darn true right there. I don't even have to put an indicator on it. We're going to come over here with our bit and we're going to just come in until we start touching. We know we're about the highest on the edge here. Okay, we're just touching there. I'm looking down in here right now, and you know, we've got a good 100 thousandths per side plus. So I'm just going to come in 35 or so. I'm not going to bother putting cotton oil or anything else on it because she is still hot. I got to put it in feed here. All right. Just like cutting an interrupted cut, a torch cut, or rough hot roll finish on the outside, things like that. The camera's going to bounce a little bit until it gets to be a little more round. Okay, I finished that first pass here, and you can see this is where I was touching in on the first little section there. So I was kind of skipping on the high spot, wherever the high spot was, and then I took 30. I think I just melted the end of my Sharpie there. Okay, so we had a couple contacts there, a couple contacts there, there. So you can see where weld is pretty round. Pretty happy with that buildup. All right, we're going to continue on. It's getting late in the day, but we'll probably make another pass. Okay, I took another 30. And I'm kind of holding the camera now so you don't get that vibration on the compound. You can see how close we were to making that weld round. I mean, it's not 100%, but by the finish around there, it is 360 degrees around the part with holidays in the middle. That looks pretty darn good. I'm happy with the weld buildup, and I'm happy with the way the shaft's running. Hey, tomorrow's another day to get her done.